We were taking our plane flying. We just switched from skis and we switched to fat tires. We were flying out to our family cabin at Kyle Lake. And we were going to go out there and do some touch and goes on our off-airport strip. When we were flying towards it, it was kind of turbulent air and it wasn't really fun. So we decided to fly towards Goose Bay for a couple touch and goes.
Steven, his father, and I in the aircraft were flying back to Anchorage. And we were flying over Goose Bay Airport. We heard on the radio from Mr. Cherry that the down aircraft, and he had already landed at that point. So we circled around the airfield, make sure everybody was okay or was able to get out of the aircraft.
So we heard the call from Zach when we were about 3 miles out, and he said, hey, we think that there's a crashed plane or there's a downed plane, and he asked if we could call approach. I called Anchorage approach, and as we got closer, I circled and actually saw that there was a downed blue Taylor craft, and then we actually went in to go land. When we went in to land, we decided to park the aircraft, walk out with them. We went to the cliff's edge to make sure that they were immediately okay. And then we decided that we weren't going to be able to climb down that cliff, so we walked all the way around to the beach. It was about a mile or two. And when we were walking on the beach, we saw them, we saw the silt, the tide was starting to come in.
We took all the gear that we could down there because obviously we didn't know the situation.
So most general aviation pilots in Alaska will always have some kind of survival equipment with them. So we have that. We have a first aid kit, we have extra food, water, sleeping bags, things like that we just always carry with us in the aircraft.
Ran as quick as we could to get there, helped the older flight instructor out because she was pretty banged up, mud everywhere and a good amount of blood too, unfortunately.
Kyle and myself actually helped carry her. And at first we just tried to support her, then we had to actually carry her up the beach. And we put her on pretty much the highest cliff that we could, or the highest rock face that was doable for us, away from the tide that was incoming.
Because that water was coming in very quickly. I think it took a total of 10 to 15 minutes, I think, for the entire aircraft to be engulfed in water and then spiral down and be lost forever.
The first thing when I actually saw her, I realized that she was actually my old flight instructor. I did my float rating through their flight school, and I actually did some float time with her. And Heidi is an incredible instructor. She has over 20,000 hours, which is insane. And she taught me so much. She was saying that the plane just went cold on her. She said that the engine just quit, and it was right when they were on final, which in that situation, she did an incredible job, and she aimed away from the field, because the way that she was coming in over that face, over that cliff, most pilots would just try to aim for the runway, but in reality, they would not have had the same outcome that they did. She pitched it away from the runway, got her airspeed and put him right on the silt. Incredible landing. And then after that, the high angle rescue crew was actually out there, so they hoisted her up, and then the 5 of us with the student pilot walked back with the state troopers.
I'm glad we all had the courage to go down there and actually deal with the situation. But I feel all of us are very lucky to be considered heroes for being at the right place and right time with this event.